Hey, everybody, and welcome back to Divulgence. Today, we are Cowboys from Hell. We are rocking it with the Occult Rejects. We got Nick and Jules in the house. What's going on, gentlemen? Thanks for being here.
Hey.
What's going on, Jordan? Man, thanks for having us, dude. I know you've been trying to we've been playing tag with each other here for the last few weeks in the DMs, but finally we're able to come on, man.
Over, man. We are here.
Yeah, thank you for working with our schedules.
So. Oh, for sure. For sure. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you so much.
Happy holidays.
How are you? Yeah, man. Happy holidays to you guys.
Thank you. Yeah.
Do either of you live anywhere where you get a fair amount of snow?
No, I actually moved away from it purposely. I went from New York to North Carolina to get away from the cold.
Oh, damn. Okay.
I live in Mississippi.
Okay.
So no, dude, it feels pretty good outside right now. It's not cold. It's a little windy, but it's kind of cool. But we got snow maybe, I want to say 5 or 6 years ago. And before that, a decade. I'm from Tennessee. My mom, she lives in Knoxville, and it's already starting to snow up there, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, okay.
But I wish it snowed. I'd like for it to.
It's a nice thing. It's nice. Like, I mean,
yeah, a season wouldn't be bad.
Yeah. I had to shovel a fuck ton this morning. But
as a kid, it'd be great. You don't have to worry.
Where do you live?
Yeah, I'm in Canada. I'm in Thunder Bay, Ontario. So fairly north, So even north of Toronto. So we get a fair amount of snow.
How far are you from Toronto?
To fly, it's like.
Oh shit! Oh,
it's getting less than 2 hours these days. Closer to like an hour 45, an hour 40. But to drive in the winter, like some people would want to cut it into like a 2-day drive. But if it's nice weather, you can do it in much less than a day.
All right, so you're not close.
Yeah, not that close. No, not to drive. That's for damn sure.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So, well. Thanks again for being here, guys. Before we start, Jules, this is your first time on the show.
Yeah.
Can you guys tell us a little bit about what you guys do? But since this is your first time, you can go first, and then Nick can share.
Okay. So my name is Jules. I am the sole host of the Greypilled podcast. Now Greypilled is just really the name of my brand. It's my main show. It's what I do all my guest episodes, Swapcast. Like if you were to come on, it'd be a Greypilled episode, right? I do deep dives and stuff. But then I also have a Patreon as well.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Everyone knows about the Patreon. Best way to support the show. Also, you have a whole catalog of content over there that you cannot find publicly. It's a show we actually did this morning, and right now we're doing them public and we're making them private later, just so people can kind of get a little preview if they choose to sign up in the new year. But it's called Esoteric Book Review, Gods of the Morning Wood.
Oh, damn.
And, we do it every Saturday morning, and it's always a good time. Nick comes and hangs out. Headless Giant, Season of the Rat, Subliminal Messenger, my two co-hosts who started doing it with me. It was just a Patreon-only show to start out with, but the past couple months we've been going live, so people can, like I said, check it out, see if they like it or not. So y'all go over to YouTube or Rumble. You can probably find one or two that are still public that you can check out. But that's, and we also do watch parties over there. There's a whole group chat and Discord where you can basically become a part of the Greypilled Circle. And, I have another show I do called Elohim Etymology. This is a show. This is kind of what started Greypilled, man. This is what's like my first research.
It's caught my attention.
Yeah. It's when me and Nick first started talking.
Yeah. Cool.
And it's a show I started with a guy named Adrian West. He's a good friend of mine. He's an author. He's a trainer and a boxer, as well as a film producer for concerts and big type events. But he wrote Pantheon 1, The Golden Veins. He co-authored it with Benson C. Saili, this guy from Botswana, who's been, diving into these, these stories of these ancient entities that came from heaven to earth, from all these different cultures throughout Africa and throughout South America and Asia. And, they all have these similarities, right? These similar origin stories. Even when you get into the etymology, the symbolism, it all somewhere along the way lines up somehow, some way. And so
Cool.
I heard Adrian on Mark Steve's show. My family thinks I'm crazy. Shout out, Mark.
Yeah, Mark. Shout out, Mark.
And got in touch with him. He was the first episode on Grey Pilled. After that first episode, I was just like, dude, this is really this is what I want the show to be about, and that's what was the case for the first year of Grey Pilled. And so we had Elohim etymology. Adrian had to take a hiatus. He has a new member of his family joining him soon. So, congratulations to him. And we'll be awaiting his return. But, about a year into Grey Pilled, I started the Patreon and started doing the esoteric book review. And I'd already done a couple of them early on in Grey Pilled. And it was just me basically reading a Manly Palmer Hall or Rudolf Steiner treatise. A treatise is just a smaller part of a much larger portion of work, or a much larger book, like a little lesson in something, right? Little esoteric lesson. And usually like in the presentation of a pamphlet or a small book, something that you can get through in a couple hours, really, if you don't harp on it too much. But I started kind of reviewing these early on in Grey Pilled and acquiring a gnosis for a new, I guess, meaning of a lot of these stories, a lot of the symbolism. The deeper you dive into these different mystery schools, and the farther you go back to this ancient symbolism, it's fascinating how it's really, like I said, all connected. And it was kind of a new, turning a new leaf in not only Grey Pilled, but like my spiritual journey as well. You know what I mean? As what you would call like a esoteric Christian. I've been referred to as a Gnostic, a Hermeticist, a Mason, a Jesuit. They've called me everything under the sun.
Yeah,
So now it means nothing, right? Like now anything they call me, I'm like, yeah, okay, throw it at me, bro. See if it sticks. And so I prefer the term Christian mystic, or my how I perceive my spiritual relationship with Christ is seems to not be the norm, right? It's not the like I said, not so much the exoteric, what you can just get off face value reading the Bible, but more so the esoteric, right?
Well, the problem is you might be more of a Christian than the other Christians around you. That's the problem.
Well, and that goes to, I've quoted Hall saying this, maybe Christianity.
I think they were very much
into a mystery school at first. Yeah. And somebody took it and they made religions with it. And now we know how those religions have been used to start wars and fund, the death of country.
I think of when I think of religion. More.
Yeah, man. Yeah. It's been weaponized against us, and right now more so than ever. And conspiracy has been co-opted in this. I think people's spirituality, what's going on politically right now. It's all one big death cult, dude, trying to drag us down.
For sure, man.
But so Grey Pill, dude, yeah. Let me regress back to what we were talking about. That became a big part of the show, and so there's there's a lot of other stuff that I've done along the way. So I kind of want you to ask Nick, or has Nick been on before?
Nick's been on, but he's but we're gonna I think we're gonna start the show with him essentially sharing some of his experiences.
I got you.
So yeah. So yeah, man. So yeah. Thanks again for being. Or sorry, keep going.
No. I was just gonna say, dude. There's other shows I've done. I used to host a show called Schizo News Network. I used to co-host that. With Nick.
Okay.
Reality Stars. That's where I first met Nick.
Yeah, man. You're just you grind away.
But yeah. I have a show with Paranoid American called Sound Science that we do every now and then. We'll have some big guest on who's a musician into conspiracy, and we'll interview them, and it's a fun show. But and then we have Cryptid Watch that I used to do, which was just me watching cryptid videos with my audience. I had that. I had Sunday Chaos, and now I am a part of the Occult Rejects. And this is getting into like year 2 of Grey Pilled, right? Further down the road. And now Nick and Headless are my handlers. And
yeah.
I
was just gonna say Jules and Headless are the only ones I'll let actually put shows out too.
Yeah, man. Nick has offered me a platform to explore these ideas further and have conversations with people. I mean, dude, my first year of Grey Pilled, I had a lot of other Christian podcasters on and kind of talked about the Apocrypha and the Book of Enoch. We kind of stayed in this one Semitic pantheon, right? Now we're kind of migrating towards Greek and Norse pantheon, learning about that from different perspectives. You know what I mean? A big part of Grey Pilled is not going into it black pill, just like all these things are demons, right? Because some of these symbols and these representations, this iconography in art, it's beautiful, right?
Yeah.
Of our past history, and to just say that everyone used to worship demons, but this one group of people, I think, is kind of counterproductive. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Because it's always been the main the conquering priest class that has written
right
history of the world.
Diddlers.
Yeah, man. I mean, this is something that people need to accept the truth of. It's question everything but this, right? No, we got to question all this stuff, man. And it should to be honest with you, strengthen your spiritual bond, right? With whoever you choose to walk in faith with, right? So kind of my take on it, I was an atheist for half of my life. So this past 10 years being more spiritual and, like I said, kind of delving into more of the esoteric kind of understanding of all these ancient stories as not only open my mind up to seeing it differently, but to seeing it all. When you start to see it all from these different angles, you can piece those together as well, dude. People close themselves off, I think, to learning about things from a certain perspective because it makes them uncomfortable. And I think that's all done to us, right? That's all fear programming. And we try to break through that at Grey Pill. We try to, be like I've been saying lately, you need to be Christ crushing scorpions and serpents. You need to be Hermes crushing Typhon, right? It's all the same kind of allegories, but they want to make it seem like the Hermes crushing Typhon is evil or something. It's like, no, it's the same type of thing. This is something that is, stoic. It's something that's, it's just
story is all the time.
Yeah. It's just foreign to people. So, like I said, people don't understand something, they tend to fear it.
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
You know what? And that is something that is innate in humans, regardless. That's just part of the way your brain works. When your left side of the brain can't give the right side a fucking answer, it's going to lie because it needs just something to hold on to.
Right.
That's all. And it's just human nature. It's not even. It's how we're built, unfortunately, or it's how we've gotten somehow. So it's not, personal to people. It's just how the human mind works.
Yeah. That's a good point. Yeah, that's a good point. Well, awesome, Jules. Well, it sounds like you worked your fucking ass off, man. So props to you.
One of the hardest workers in fucking podcasting.
Yeah, man. It's the production of my show. My show means a lot to me. My audience means a lot to me. The people that I do shows with mean a lot to me. I don't talk about this stuff with anyone in my, I mean, I talk about it with my wife and a few friends that live in my vicinity, but most people, this stuff is just,
you got to find the people that you sync with, and you can't just expect to sync with all the people that are close to you, like physically near you, like your neighbors or your schoolmates or your friends. Eventually you change friends here and there, but if you find people that you actually sync with, there's a lot more meaning to that, I think, and it holds a better structure over time. So on that note, it's a pleasure to meet you guys. Well, I've met Nick, but it's a pleasure to see you again, Nick, and it's a pleasure to meet you, Jules.
Yeah, man. Now you know a little bit of, just about what my show is about. And
sounds great. All your
we
shows
like to have fun over on Grey Pill too. We have a lot of inside jokes, and we make a lot of phallic references and fart jokes and all that. It's all in good fun.
Cool.
You gotta laugh about some of this stuff.
Jokes, you're not get upset,
Yeah, that is correct. Absolutely.
When you call somebody a faggot, it doesn't even mean they're gay. You're just saying they're a fucking
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Come on. Come on.
Always
Your head of shame. Don't be gay. Don't be gay.
Yeah. Just like something like that. It just means stop being an asshole, really.
Yeah.
Well, people refer to me as handsome faggot, and
you see him getting bent out of shape.
Yeah. See, and I mean that it could mean a good. I mean, there's a guy named Mersh who was watching my show one night on a Friday night. It was late, and I was giving shouts out to everybody on my Patreon, and he was like just saying he wanted to kill me, and called me a handsome faggot. And so I clipped it, made it part of an edit, and it stuck. And so now, if I choose to drink during a stream, and people will be like, "Oh no, here comes handsome faggot," and I'll put on the cowboy hat, my shirt off. But I have a pretty hot wife, so it's like it's just kind of.
There you go. So you're definitely a faggot.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. There you go.
Just out of jealousy, he's a faggot now.
It's funny, man. It's something that originated with my Sunday Chaos streams, nice. And God, that name speaks for itself. But anyway. Enough of me, man. Enough about me.
Fair enough. Well, you're an interesting guy, so it's good to have you.
Thank you, Nick. No, man, I appreciate it, man.
Yeah, man. Well, thanks for being here for the ride, Nick. Can you tell us, tell everyone a little bit about yourself again, and then we can get into a little bit about some of your history and your experiences that you've had.
Sure. Yeah. The Occult Rejects. It's been on for about 5 years. It's completely different than it was in the beginning. Now it's a group of people that I work with consistently. I would even say the way it was a year and a half ago, it's even changed a lot. Everybody on the show is pretty much into the occult. They all kind of study it or at least practice it. Some of them. How would I? Everybody's got their own little way of looking at things. And I do believe that back in the day, a lot of the stuff, a lot of the people that I have been interested in, they were all polymaths, and I'm not one. So in order for me to try to, I guess, get maybe the best understanding for other people, I need to bring people in who can step in for that, so everybody has their own little thing. And I think it works out pretty good. I would say everybody on the show, as of now, I'm very proud to call a friend. And I actually trust all of them. I don't think anybody's going to stab me in the back this time. So I'm very comfortable with that. I'd rather have just few people instead of more than there used to be. But the show does, it covers, I still will cover stuff every once in a while. There's some cults I'd like to cover and shit that are interesting. At first, the show was very much more based, I think, on the shock value and just the horrible shit behind occultism. But I was still trying to promote that there was, use of it. And I do think that there's good behind it. Just due to the person I was working with at the beginning, a lot of it was more of always just pointing out the bad shit, and then eventually, just to keep it real, just from my experiences in the past, why I should be able to freestyle shit if I wanted to about actual magic and my experiences. Why am I spending tons and hours and time to just always, again, promote the negative about it? So I started to change it up after that co-host left, and it's more about now, I think, I've spent enough time, and there's plenty of people out there that really really capitalize on the negative aspects. I don't think I need to keep running my mouth about that anymore. So now I try to cover topics that we're interested in, or just even try to decode movies or literature or anything, the magic aspect. And I try to bring on guests that are, believe it or not, some of the guests that I have actually had on the last month or two are actually huge fucking names in the occult community. Conspiracy people probably have no idea because they just don't know. It's a total different community, but some of those people are like highly revered about their understanding and their academic background and just the work that they've done. So I'm just trying to basically bring people that I think are respectable guests to bring on for the topics that they can talk about, and I think they have stuff to teach us in a positive sense. So that's kind of what the show's about now, and sometimes we all get together and cover topics and stuff. We got Headless Giant. Jules are always busy, always doing things too. Jin the Ninja, he's got like his own like little kind of like almost secret society going on himself on Friday nights.
Threshold Saints.
Yeah, Threshold Saints. So I mean, a lot of Robbie Marks, everybody on the show has their own outlet too, and everybody has something to offer on their own. So if people ever check out the show too, it's not just me and the few of the guys. It's everybody on the show. They all have their own outlets. Go check out what they have to say because I think they're all great at what they do. Oh, you're muted there, bud.
Thank you. I totally agree, man. Like, I was definitely when I started getting more into podcasting and around that, listening to podcasts, which was around the same time that I got more interested in things like the occult or conspiracies, which I kind of have always had a little bit of an interest in. Your show, I was definitely drawn to because it was kind of a group of you with all these different perspectives and different histories and experiences, and it's like, damn, that's pretty fucking cool, actually.
It's like the Wu-Tang podcast, bro.
Yeah, man. Seriously, quite literally, man.
I will say, not to brag, last year we were number one. Unfortunately, this year we got beat by somebody who doesn't even practice magic, but whatever. But we are number 2 in the top cult podcast in the world. And we're in the top 1%.
Dude.
No shit. I didn't know that.
Congrats.
Yeah, last year we were number 1. This year we got beat by Weishaupt, unfortunately. Whatever it is, what it is.
Oh, Isaac, need a response.
Yeah. I don't know. I was just like, this guy doesn't even fucking practice magic. And he beat me, Rune Scoop, and all these other magicians that actually practice. But it is what it is. We're number 2, though. We're coming back 2027, number 1. Promise you that. So
need to get Isaac on to talk about Twin Peaks. That's another thing, Jordan. I did a whole Patreon 6-month watch party of the first and second season of Twin Peaks.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And season 3, The Return, a full analysis breakdown into all the occult themes, the Eastern philosophies behind everything, the egregore of the town. We got into a very long deep dive, months long of a deep dive on tulpas and servitors. And, just thought forms basically, and how, what if everything is a thought form, and just, these emanations from God, right? Extensions or, consciousness in God's pinky, right? I don't know. It's just theories, right? We're conspiracy theorists, or we're supposed to be.
Yeah. Okay.
But
one thing I just do want to add too, the whole reason behind the show also is the fact that I did have my own magical experience and realized this isn't all negative, and it did impact me in a positive way. My experience with magic. So I mean, that's even another thing that I try to talk about on the show. I do think that if you do this stuff the right way, you can have a profound experience with God and actually change your life and make you a better person. So there is that aspect as well.
Well, and that goes back to what I was talking about when people think of magic. People think of the occult, it's always this like negative connotation. Right? It's like, darkness and evil. And it's like, yeah, that's what it's portrayed as. So that's done on purpose, I think.
Yeah, like
right?
Satanic panic, or just trying to dramatize things or whatever, right? And that's definitely something that I'd like to learn from you guys over the next year. So we definitely have lots of different stuff to talk about.
Well, that's the great thing is that we're always learning, dude.
Yeah, that's exactly how I feel, man. We are always fucking learning.
Yo, even when Crowley died, he said he was perplexed, if that's even correct. Even he was still confused.
Of course he was.
Even he's still like, I don't get it.
I don't fucking get it. Yeah,
man. A whole lifetime and you still don't get it, man.
So Nick, quick question before we jump into it. How many of your group currently and in the past, I guess, of the Occult Rejects have experience with secret societies, and can you share your experience with secret societies?
The other people on the show, I wouldn't really say anything unless they have. I think maybe Jins might have had somewhat of an experience with that. I'm not sure. For me, I thought maybe there were some that have been that openly. I'm gonna be totally honest with you. I think I might have been the only idiot that joined an order. Unfortunately,
Fair enough.
But I mean, if there is, I don't know.
We got you in the hot seat.
I was in a gang as a young youth, but
I believe his gang was a cult. Honestly,
gang symbolism, dude. It's all Abrahamic. It's all Abrahamic. The People's Nation and Folk Nation. It's Islam and Judaism. It's
wild. Looking at that shit.
It's clear. If you've been in a gang,
they have their own
language. You have, yeah.
A white kid growing up in the middle of Jackson, Mississippi, dude. I could have either gotten picked on or, be the craziest person in the gang. Which one? Hey,
craziest person in the gang.
I'll be that crazy white boy.
Yeah, so crazy they won't even fuck with you.
Well, no, I mean, I also grew up playing punk rock and stuff, so I wasn't just some like off the hinge like wigger, But I had a troubled teenage years, but that was from my own doing, all that was of my own accord. Being a kid and growing up, that you with this victim mentality, blaming the police for everything, and you can always blame your parents or society or whatever, but you just really have to take accountability for your own actions, and that's when you can really move past stuff.
Yeah,
I was sitting in federal prison. Blaming some dude fucking who ratted on me, for why I'm here. And one day, like, I'm sitting in the shoe, and like, I fucking sent an email out explaining like somebody that was in the prison and I didn't know that in the feds that's like breaking security kind of if they want to be a dick. So they tossed me in the shoe over a fucking email, and I'm sitting there and I got some fucking dude in my room that I'm questioning if he's a fucking creep. And I'm like, I'm stuck in here with this one fucking guy. It's been like fucking few weeks. And I'm sitting there and all of a sudden just this moment of clarity comes over me. And I'm like, I'm only here because I knew I was breaking the law and fucking did it anyway. But regardless if I agree that steroids should be legal or not, I knew it was illegal. Bro. I fucking sold it.
You consented.
Zero fucks. And now I'm sitting here wanting to blame another motherfucker. No, it was all my fault. It was the way I led my life and believed up until that point I made that decision. That was all my fault. And I just after that, things clicked.
Yeah.
I started taking a little bit more of an honest look at myself. And it's funny, when I got out of prison, it wasn't too long after that, I started getting more into the occult. I don't know if it was just because I started checking, and it wasn't that I was exposed to it a lot. There was a lot of it in prison, but I mean, I had looked at more of the stuff before I went into prison. But I don't know. I think maybe at some point I just I don't know. I was like searching for something too. And I think I was like realizing that my own head is fucked up and I need to fix it. That's why I'm in prison. I'm making fucking bad decisions. I was a heroin addict prior to that. Obviously I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I don't know how to act with the emotions going on inside of me.
It's wild how many people in the conspiracy podcast community were once on, drugs or mainly really opiates, because
that is huge.
My whole audience knows my story. I was near death many times and didn't die. Something kept me here to raise my children and to talk to you lovely people. So what that force was, I'm still trying to, I'm like I said, it's an everyday thing for me. My walk and my faith and my spirituality, something that I'm constantly learning about. And that's these conversations, man. They do more for a lot of people, I think, than we even know. To be honest, with you.
Yeah. I agree that because
Yeah.
I not only because I know from experience myself, but I just understand the power of like talking and listening and interacting with others, whether it be directly or just listening to people talk and share their experiences and learning from them and how to overcome darkness like that. So I completely agree.
Yeah. And, you know, through those years of being on drugs, you go through a lot of existential, like dark night of the soul type, like through drug withdrawal is one way to describe it, man. It's a spiritual encounter. You face your lower demons. You can say your lower, these, you know, if you have astral entities that are attached to you, which I think most people do, right? It's like, what are you vibrating on, right? Are you a good person? Are you a bad person? All these things matter. Also, your perception of everything, you know, intention is important. It all is, you know, it all pertains to this one thing. But I just, yeah, man, this is, well, this show, especially with the Occult Rejects, is just something that's really, you know, and a lot of conversations that I wanted to have early on that it kind of like it just seemed just to happen, you know, synchronicities that line up here and there. You see it more than you don't, right? So I think it's important to pay attention to those.
Fair enough, man. Fair enough. So Nick, what secret society were you a part of, and what is your experience with that?
Sure? Yes, I was. Yeah, sure, not a problem. I was in the OTO, the Ordo Templi Orientis. When I first wanted to get into, you know, I was reading books and I was practicing out of those prior. You know, I just mentioned, just to make it real quick, sometimes I would see differences of opinions or maybe even discrepancies in certain things. Like, you know, things might be switched around or not the exact same order. Like I saw somebody, I'm pretty sure was talking about one of Crowley's things, and it wasn't the same way it was written or put out by Crowley. So I was just like, all right, so like obviously there's like even confusion in that or whatever. It's not the same. So I was like, maybe I need to like join something that I know that like I can go there and they have like, you know, this, you know, certain things that basics that are kind of set in stone. You know what I'm saying? And I was much more into ceremonial stuff than like witchcraft. I wanted something with kind of like set rules and to an extent, you know, like this is what works. You know what I'm saying? Not some just like free for all. And I started like looking for places, and I knew some people. I knew a few people that were in the Masons because of knowing them in other things. And they had said, if you want to be bothered getting into magic with that, you're going to have to wait way too long fucking years. You're going to have to get into the right stuff to even acknowledge it. They said it's just a waste of time. And I was suggested to like either Golden Dawn, OTO, or Martinism. And there wasn't any of those around me except for there happened to be an OTO lodge 25 minutes away. And I was like, what the fuck? Wow. Okay.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I was like, all right. I was like, you know, the thing is, again, like I was saying, it was even Crowley's work that I saw being like fucked up, that I was just like, all right, something's wrong here. But I do know like the Golden Dawn also used the same things that I was looking at. Like the banishing ritual, the pentagram and hexagram was a lot of stuff I was using that originally came from the Golden Dawn, even though Crowley put it out. So stuff like that, I was already like kind of exposed to. So I was like, all right, I guess I could deal with it. But again, like Crowley, even though I was looking at his stuff, it wasn't somebody that I was wholly interested in himself. You know, who knows what the fucking guy actually really did. But you know, there's a lot of accusations and stuff out there. So I was like, fuck it, I'll check it out anyway. And I contacted them. They have like a website. I mean, the OTO, all these places have their own websites now, and you could just they're not telling, it's not secret where they are. You might have at the lodge, but they have bills to pay. They want people to show up and join these things. So they do have a site, and they did have like a calendar of events. And I had hit them up and was like, yeah, I want to come to like this Gnostic mass like at the end of the month. And they're like, all right, well, you know, let us know a couple of days beforehand and we'll give you directions to come here. So in between that time, I found it online to watch. I watched it on YouTube. And I was like, all right, this isn't anything too crazy. I think I can handle this. So when it came closer, I let them know that I wanted to go, and they gave me directions. Went there. When I first got there, I thought it was just a weird as fuck situation to begin with. It was 2 Hootie Lodge in Sunnyside, Queens. And it's inside an apartment building, but you can't get into that building unless you got a key. Now, they don't explain this to you. So when they tell you, like, oh, it's across the street from a park and there's a bench over there, hang out at the bench and somebody will come out and get you, it already sounds fucking shady and sketchy as fuck.
Right. Yeah.
So I get there and I'm like driving down the block and I park and I'm like, all right, there's a group of goth looking people. So I'm assuming that's them.
Okay.
So I headed down there and I'm like, all right, there's other people here. Then eventually I see a dude come out and I understood the whole thing. The guy had unlocked the fucking gate so that people could even get into the building. Okay. So we go in and it's a big, gigantic, like downstairs type of like apartment. I don't know if it was like a 1-bedroom or a studio, but it was gigantic. And it was like split up in like the 2 different areas. It was like the waiting room. And then there was like a curtain that separated. And then when you walked into there, that was the temple. And I waited and, people are bullshitting. And I'm just sitting there like, oh, this is weird. I don't know anybody here. And they, start the mass up and I go inside and, things are going just like regular, just like I watched on YouTube. But then I guess because it's on YouTube, they don't have nudity. All of a sudden, titties came out.
Right.
Like, oh,
baby.
Like, oh, we got titties out here now. And like, I'm like nervous. So I guess, you be like the cool kid, the kid back in the room because you really just don't want attention anyway. So
right.
like you go back. So I'm like the guy in the back of the room because I don't want anybody even looking at me anyway. I'm just weirded out. And I'm like, got this whole view. I'm like, I got the row of people in front of me. I got the row of people on the other side of the room. I got the people in the Gnostic mask. I got a fucking pair of tits out in front of me. And I'm like, wow, this is where I'm at now. And I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, all right. I'm like, if this shit gets any weirder, I'm getting the fuck out of here. Because I'm like starting to worry this is going to turn into some I'd shut shit. And I was just like,
yeah.
Same for me.
Isn't that what is you didn't want any eyes wide shut shit?
I wasn't looking for that. No.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I wasn't actually. No. So
you were there for magic, right?
Yeah. And so that happened. It ends. Then some people came up to me, what you think, this and that, blah blah blah. The priestess who did the Gnostic mass, I don't know if maybe they just assumed I was already like, maybe my guard's down because you just had your tits in my face. I don't know. Maybe there's some sort of bond here already. But she approaches me to try to like tell me about, there's other things here too besides the Gnostic mass that you might find of interest. And she was like showing me classes on like, I think one was tinctures, how to make tinctures. So I was like, oh, that's cool. And they're like, for the $10 you get to like make the stuff and bring it home. So I'm like, oh, so I came for that, and I came from other classes. They'd have like sometimes history classes on certain people or on certain topics of planetary magic, stuff on planets. So I was like, all right, there's other things here. And I guess that was good enough for about 6 years. I stayed and went through a couple of initiations. But I will say, even from the beginning to the end, I was never fully 100% probably comfortable. But there was times when I was like going more often and did enjoy it. But it was definitely an experience. It wasn't what I thought it was going to be. Magic isn't what I thought it was when I first went in there. But my idea of magic changed even while I was in the OTO anyway. But still, it never was what I thought it was going to be. And, and just with the way that the world was changing, the stuff that was going on with COVID, there was just a lot of stuff with the OTO that I didn't agree with, didn't understand what they were doing. So I just felt that it didn't offer me anything at all anymore. And I just decided to leave. But it was a good experience to know who I am and what I don't want to be also. But I met a few people there that I think were worth knowing and meeting and learning from too.
Okay. So, and how long were you part of it?
I'd say probably about 6 years, I think. You just even try to go by like, yeah, I mean, just in between initiations, some things you have to wait like 9 months or a year, believe it or not. So, I mean, I had to at least 6 years probably. 6 years,
okay.
Yeah.
And okay, so I was going to ask you what you feel that you got out of it. So you met some people that you felt you learned from.
You know what? I'd have to say probably I think what was the most impactful for me was probably some of the initiations, but also the fact of once I had a magical experience, in my opinion, the stuff that I had seen in that place, I'm looking at it a completely different way, and it started telling me different things. And that I think was actually like really the most important. I mean, I would even say that with Crowley's work and other magicians or other people that came prior. Once I had a magical experience, I just looked at this stuff a little bit differently. And just to me, I just didn't have a want to be there anymore. But I do think it was deeply occulted. I do think there's a lot of things that people don't even see that's right in their face. It's hard to explain, but I think like even like they even warn you. The first initiation, they tell you not to trust anybody. In Minerval, then in the first degree, they tell you not to trust anybody around you. They still tell you again, only trust yourself. Then in the second degree, they tell you not to trust your siblings or even trust what the fuck you're seeing around you. So I was like, yeah, I think that was enough. Like
they're teaching you that.
They tell you that. They tell you straight up. Yeah, like in one of them, like, I mean, fuck it. The second degree at one point, they have you do certain things so they kind of get a point across, and they tell you to like kind of like lean over in a bath. It's almost like this big tub to like get a drink. And the way they're explaining it to you, it's like if you like literally like really picture the way they're trying to tell you to drink out of it, it's probably fucking physically impossible. Now, I had already read, if people want to, the secret rituals of the OTO. That book does cover a bunch of initiations, and from the ones that I have done, they're pretty on point. So if people want to go out there, you can actually see what some of their initiations are. I had read that shit prior to me even taking these initiations. So I understood that the whole part of me trying to drink out of this tub the wrong way is so the two people next to me can push me in, because you're kind of like in an awkward way and you can easily just be tossed in. So I, fell in knowing that was coming. Get out, and then they're like, "Oh, we'll see if you would have checked. There was a rope holding like a bottle of champagne on the fucking side, and you could have drank this and never got wet." And then they're telling you,
fuck you.
And then they're telling you, again, you can't trust everybody around you. Your brothers and sisters just pushed you in a fucking pool playing a game with you. Then they ask you to put a thing like, "Oh, you got to screw down this thing on your thumb, and when it's too hard for you, I guess you'll stop, and that shows you devotion to Horus or whatever the fuck they're asking you to do." And I did it. Even cracked a joke that like on the left side of my leg, I have like nerve damage from like an accident. So I was like, oh, if I would have put this on my pinky toe, I could have probably went all the way, and that felt shit. I was even making jokes because I knew what was coming on. And then they're like, oh, well, if you would have lifted up the bottom of the thing, you would have seen there was a hole, and you could have stuck your thumb on there and turned the thing all the way down and not felt anything. The moral of that is don't believe everything you see. So after that, I'm like, yo, you told me in Minerval not to trust anybody. Now you just told me in first degree only trust myself. And now you're telling me in the second degree not to trust the motherfuckers I'm with and not to trust my surroundings. Do you really want me to come back? What the fuck are you trying to tell me? It was just weird. So I didn't agree with that. I thought it was a little weird. After the second degree, also in the OTO, they will tell you certain things that are needed for you to kind of like go to other degrees, or they'll even tell you like certain things you can volunteer for while you're at that degree, or things that are available to you. Now, as you are a member there, the longer you're there, or at least as you start going up in degrees, they will expect you to start doing things. So like I offered to start doing the Gnostic Mass for a few reasons. One, to get them off my back. And if I was in the Gnostic Mass, for the most part, if I was the child, which was the only thing I could do, my back would normally be towards the priestess when her titties are out. So that whole fucking awkwardness and weird part is totally removed from me, because she's behind me and I'm sitting there looking at everybody else. I don't have to fucking be a part of it. So believe it or not, I did do it for those two reasons. And that it looked good. And then like, so in the second degree, when I had made that, one, they had mentioned that I think it was the 5th or 6th degree that like, you're going to have to, like the person you're with is probably going to have to be involved in the order at some point. And I was just like, yo, my wife is not going to go for this, because I was married at the time. I was like, as soon as she sees titties, she's going to be kicking somebody's ass and dragging me out of the fucking place. She didn't even know that was going on, even though I had asked her to come. So I was just like, that's never going to work. And then at one point they're like talking about signing over property. And I was like, oh, well, fuck you. Now it's a cult. Adios. So, I mean, even all that shit was already pushing me out the door. But they had even had another thing where they were telling you in second degree, it's something that you could do, is that you would end up like talking to this guy. I think it was Sabazius. I could be wrong. Somebody else who's very high up in the order, of the head guy. I thought it was going to be like once a month, like you connect on Skype and you kind of just ask some questions and just get kind of like, I guess, ideas about how the lodge is doing. So I was like, all right, if this is something I just got to do once a month, it's 12 fucking times. Maybe I'll do that as my like thing to do so they don't ask me to do shit I don't want to do. So I started looking into that, and I was talking to the guy at my order that was doing it at Tahuti Lodge, and he was telling me, I was like, yo, this shit's every week. Like, what what is this, data? What the fuck do you want to know every week? Yeah, there was titties, and we had some wine and some cakes alike, dude. A couple of fucking weirdos showed up, and they went home. Like, well, what do you need to know every week? I thought that was shady as fuck again. What are you fucking data mining? What are you going to start asking me to listen to fucking conversations? What the fuck is there for me to tell you every week about the OTO? Oh, fuck, really, dude? I just thought that was weird. And then, like, after you get done, I think doing the second degree, they're asking you to like fucking stick up the fucking Libra Oz, which I mean, I can get down with some of that, but like sticking it up, like they want you to stick it up like in a religious place, a fucking government building, or some other thing.
What is it?
You post it up. It's kind of like the commandments or not commandments. Like, it's kind of like the laws for like I guess like a Thelomite, like how they live their life. And they want you to put the name, address,
the book of the law. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And like, hang it up.
77.
I was like, what the fuck? And like even people I talked to that were like a third degree or did the second degree, none of them. They were like, yo, I didn't do that shit. Are you fucking crazy? But I was just like, yo, they were even like, oh, you can go up into a police department. That counts. And just, stick it on the fucking, board that they, people are hanging shit up on. I'm like, I don't know if I want to walk into a police department and put my name and address and like fucking this stating this shit. Fucking, I'm just like, I don't know. It's a little much. So it was just weird things to me. I was just like, yeah, I think, I'm just going to kind of like, practice magic and read my books and take all this other shit and fuck off.
Yeah.
And then they started, this is where it started even getting weirder too, where I started thinking like something's up with this place. One, when COVID came, they closed their doors. So Jesus obviously has bigger balls than fucking Horus does at this moment. He's scared, the doors are closed. Jesus, the fucking church is still open. What the fuck? So the OTO closes. Then, like, they're going on about, like, oh, we don't know if we're going to open it back up unless it's vaccinated. We're not sure this and that. And then all of a sudden we get a fucking email that 93% fucking joke. They're using 93 to pull heartstrings. 93% of the lodge said that they're not comfortable unless everybody's vaccinated. I'm like, well, I didn't get an email. Wow. Fucking Mike didn't get an email. Jordan didn't get an email. Jason didn't get an email. Where the fuck did you get this 93% from? 5 of us. Probably because the fucking answer would be like, they're fucking crazy. We didn't get a fucking. So you're making this shit up and you're using the 93 to play heartstrings and you're telling motherfuckers they got to get jabbed unless they want to come back. Fuck you. I'm out. They started doing that. And then I was like, no way. I'm not going. They did a couple of Zoom things and I was getting emails for it because I didn't technically resign yet. I was just stopped going to meetings and just wasn't down with that idea. So they started doing Zoom things because it just still never opened up. And they all of a sudden one day they sent out something to talk about George Floyd.
Oh, fuck.
What? Like George Floyd isn't in the book of the law the last time I read it. Neither is CNN, and I'll even keep it this way. Neither is Fox fucking News. That's not in the book of the law either. You know what I'm saying? So I was just like, what the fuck's going on with this? Why? Like, it's like Alcoholics Anonymous. The only thing we're here to talk about is stop drinking. Everything else outside this fucking building has nothing to fuck to do with this. That's exactly how the OTO is supposed to be. So I was a little confused. So I joined this thing, and it turns to this big fucking kumbaya of like it's therapy here of people talking about their racist experiences. And I was like, oh, what the fuck is this? I'm like, first of all, you only got one motherfucking black dude in the lodge anyway. Like, what the fuck? Let's keep it real.
And he probably hates that woke shit.
No, this motherfucker started pushing Antifa, and I was like,
oh, God. Okay, well, look, I live in Mississippi. The black guys down here, they're not fans of all that shit. They're more country boys. They have their land and their families. It's very different here. It's not like it is in the big cities.
Okay.
Yeah, it was crazy. I was just like, yo, why is this guy going on? He's like, oh, if Antifa gets deemed, it's funny, it ended up happening. If they get deemed, terrorists, our fucking laws and our Bill of Rights are going right out the window, and I know that's my thing. I'm a lawyer, blah, 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 blah. And I was just like, yo, what does this have to do with the lesser banishing pentagram? Yo, what the fuck does this have to do with the book of the law? I was like, this is fucking insane. And I was like, nah, I'm fucking out of here. And that was it, man. I was fucking done. I was like, these people lost their fucking mind. They're talking about trying to, you guys want to get protests together? What the fuck? Yo, why are you
Very
more worried about
gay.
protesting for George Floyd and being in a fucking gay parade than actually talking about magic? What the fuck is wrong with you people? If Crowley came back right now, he'd say you're only a bunch of fucking sissy.
Not to mention Floyd was a plant by the Prince Hall Masons, right? I mean, his whole have you saw his chest piece, his fucking
That's what I'm
Masonic chest piece that he had, his tattoo.
I said
Was
that on
that
some
the
libtard
double-headed
show that had me
eagle
on
with the
it.
pyramid, all that
I was like,
stuff?
you believe
dude,
that
it's
shit's
like,
even real?
Oh,
Like that shit was made to get you triggered, lady.
yeah, it's theater.
That shit
Dude.
was put out there to get you fucking scared.
George Floyd was a sacrifice, I think, and he knew it. You know,
he sacrificed himself, man.
I mean, hey, I'm saying, hey, dude, look, I like I said, I used to do that shit. Yeah, you'll stop breathing. You'll stop breathing, and you'll fall. Your head will hit the concrete. All types of shit. So,
oh, okay.
I had a lot of friends who've lost their lives. You know, back to what we were talking about earlier. A can of Narcan in their back pocket or whatever, and you know, they too messed up to use it or whatever, and the people who are with them are too scared to go to jail, so they just leave them there to die.
Wow.
Happened to a few friends of mine. Wish I could find the people who left them there, but anyway. But you know,
your friends.
That's almost 10 years ago now, man. I'm about 8 years.
I had the same
clean.
situation happen. Wow, that's weird.
People are able to save someone's life from overdosing, and they don't because they're scared of the consequences that come with it, so they leave them there.
Yeah, that happened to one of my friends. I have a friend who's dead because pieces of shit left him in a fucking car. Didn't want to call him.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, I had one of my friends left in the car. One of my friends literally on a bridge.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, man. He was real young too. It was sad. Yeah, man, that life is a life of death, and it's pushed, right? It's pushed in culture.
I was gonna say exactly.
Yeah.
Jules.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And a funny thing now, this group, the Suicide Boys, can't fucking stand them. I hope they fucking see this too. Fuck you guys. They made a career off of glorifying opiates, getting a whole generation of kids addicted, and then they have the resources and money to go get clean and find Jesus and do whatever they're doing. Fuck you. Weak men. And you know
these guys that you're talking about, the Suicide Boys?
Yeah, look them up.
Oh, with the
pay for every single
dollar signs. Fuck these.
All of their therapy and their rehabs. Go pay for their stuff. You know, I'm sure they're probably half of them are probably dead by now. You know, if that's not telling you that you know, the drug culture is a mass. Yeah, these guys now have given their lives to.
What are they, rappers now?
Yeah, they're rappers. They're from New Orleans,
hip-hop,
and they grifted off the Memphis rap scene, sampling nothing but Memphis stuff. I did it too. I was a rapper for 5 years back in the day, and
that's why I'm not rocking with the boys anymore.
Well, dude, I didn't go and get face tattoos, and I would be dead by now if I would have continued down that road. But yeah, these guys they ruined a whole generation of teenagers, and they come out on top.
The ones that
it's just sad to see. Yeah, glorifying murder, suicide, obviously, and explicit Suboxone and opiate use, like abusing Suboxone and stuff. Like, what the fuck? You know what I mean?
That's
yeah, man.
Yeah, that's
meant to supposedly help people. It's just giving them another crutch. But you know, dude, it's like these guys. Look at them. Yeah. They're hanging out with Drake. See, this is you know, bastardization of symbolism, right? The hanged man, all this stuff. You're just like, dude, you guys are puppets, man. You guys are, you know, some old dude has his hand in their butt and is having them do all his bidding. Quite literally. Bunch of queers. Sorry. I'm sorry.
No, it's all good. It's all good.
It's just something I felt passionate about recently. I saw a TikTok of one of them he bought his mom a house. I'm just like, fuck out of here, dude.
That's
sorry.
No, all good. No, the world's a fucky place, man. There's some fucking people with some fucky shit going on, and some of it's no good. But anyways, So yeah, while we wrap up with the OTO and move on.
Yeah, to divert from that, that's why I've stayed muted, so I don't try to interrupt.
All good, man. It's all good. If you got something to say, you say it. Yeah. Is there anything else that you want to share in the OTO before we move on to?
I will say the one thing that and again, I'm not trying to promote the guy like completely, but there is stuff, I think, when it comes to the OTO stuff that after I had my magical experience looking at the initiations I did, stuff going on in the initiations and stuff in Crowley's work, I do think there is physiology actually involved in science, involved in shit. And I do think that's actually some of the secrets of secrets and the mysteries of mysteries they do hide. That's my opinion. So that was even stuff that I started to notice that I thought I was like, oh, when I went through that initiation, I could have, I just started looking at parts of the eyeball and you're like, wait, what?
Right.
And things that they're telling you and words that they're telling you, just like, wow, this is weird. So, that was, that's another thing. I do think somewhere at some point, I don't know if it's the same as it is now, but there is, and I don't think most of the people even at the lodge that I was at probably even knows what the fuck's up, but there is some deep shit in, I think, his stuff. So I don't know where I'm going with that, but there is, I guess, if you're willing to take the time, I do think there's actually some deep encoded shit in Crowley's work. That's all, really.
Okay. So we can bounce into some secret society talk. So I mean, there's so many fucking secret societies out there now, right? And like the thing is that like most of them are not even secret, right? I mean, to an extent. But I mean, what would you guys say are some of the most wild secret societies based on the research you guys have been doing over the years? I know there's lots, but like, what are some that might be lesser known to people, like other than like the Freemasons, maybe like Illuminati, Skull and Bones, stuff like that? Some that maybe people have never heard of, but are just at face value, just batshit fucking wild.
Well, I mean, go ahead, Jules.
No, Nick, are you sure? I think it's important to differentiate between, so you have your mystery schools, right? Your Eleusinian mystery schools, your Osirian mystery schools, the Druidic mysteries, all this stuff. And then you get into, the Jesuits, the Illuminati, who took ideas from all these mystery schools and made their own doctrines with them, right? The Rosicrucians. And then later on, you have all your orders of knights and stuff, right? And so then as we get down the road, we figure out, well, there's been these little fringe cults throughout time. And now we're seeing, there's a whole new category of what you would call a secret society in these cults, right? So I think that's an important part of understanding this stuff, is that, you have your earlier mystery schools and mystery religions that kind of predate all these, what you would say, like these dark, elite class groups that kind of run things from behind the scenes. And then now you have, smaller cults and stuff that we've seen, the Process Church. I wouldn't say small, but then, the Temple is Set. And Nick has talked about that.
Yeah,
and people just harp on those things. But you have, those are involved with a lot of these other little smaller psyops that we see going on. I think school shootings and serial killers and stuff like that. And so there's, there's paradigms to the secret society stuff, man.
Yeah.
You want to hear about
organized crime involved with some of them.
You had cults in the medieval ages that worshiped the head of the Green Man, and cults that worshiped the head of St. John, the head of, you could say the head of Osiris. You could say the phallus of Osiris. But, there's a lot of crazy different secret societies out there. Now I would like to say this, because most people seem to leave the Kabbalist out, right? Right. I mean, you get into the Kabbalah mysticism.
That's huge.
And
huge.
Dude, you find it in a lot of these secret societies.
If they have a checkerboard floor, which almost all of them do, They're into the Kabbalah.
It's Solomonic. It comes from Solomon, who is Jewish, right? It comes from Jewish mysticism. So you kind of see the roots of these secret societies form in this, this one area. Now, and that's because I think that there's always been dark forces at work, right? But I'm trying to think of one that
you know what I think is a good one, maybe that we could just touch on for a few, that I think not too many people look into and actually had a huge impact in this country. The Order of Cincinnatus. We've talked about that a few times on the podcast, and I do think that one doesn't get enough looked at. I do think that shows you some wild shit with our country and the ties. And
the Order of
the Cincinnatus.
The Order of the
JJ and Headless were big talking about them.
Headless can actually go pretty deep on that.
But I mean, that does show you how like the French Masons and how even the English Masons sort of kind of getting together and then came over here and formed this country. Like, if you start looking at that stuff, I'm sorry, you can't look at the French as being, we're not involved. You know how they always have this, neutral thing? No, you guys got your hands in the cookie jar just as everybody else does, and you're just keeping quiet about it.
There you go. And you'll see a lot of that coming from France and Italy, dude. Those bloodlines that intermarried for generations among the royal families of France and Italy. There's something to that as well as the Germanic bloodlines of the dragon, right? You have Queen Elizabeth descended from. Is this it, Jules? Vlad the Impaler. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. George Washington was part of it.
Who started it?
I don't remember.
Henry Knox.
I talked about 20 times on the show. Founded in Fishkill, New York. Of course, you always got to get New York involved somehow with this weird shit. Mormonism. You got Joseph Smith in New York. Fuck.
New York, right?
Yep.
What's that?
Well, York.
Okay.
The capital, and
like Darlene even said, Cincinnati links straight to the French monarchy. Oh. That's something actually that's sort of that angle is something I have wanted to cover on here for the Cincinnatus is really haven't, and I wanted to see if I could look into it, like the French angle, because I think there's so much to be found out about that. Because you get a lot of French Masons coming over with these people.
Really? Yeah. Wow.
But yeah, that's a thing that I think doesn't get enough talked about if you're kind of into it's an old order that I think actually is still very prevalent today, possibly. A lot of politicians seem to be part of the bloodline of those people too. It's fucking weird.
Yeah. Here's a question: is a cult necessarily a secret society, and is a secret society necessarily a cult?
I don't think they have to be. I mean,
right?
Yeah, I mean, unless the place asks you to, again, like the OTOs done, you're gonna have to sign your shit over to them. I guess, then that is. If they never
some can be both, right? I guess some can be both. I guess it
depends on too if it how much you control.
Society can turn into a cult.
Yeah.
Right. But I don't think it could be the other way around. I mean, obviously, the basis for that cult would have been to be in secret, right? So, but most people from secret societies are the ones that end up starting the cults, though.
Yes, a lot of them. That's the thing too. With a lot of these cults, you'll get the weirdos from the secret societies starting their own thing. So and again, I'm not even sticking off with the secret society, but a lot of times you just get the weirdos because there's going to be weirdos fucking everywhere that then start the fucking off the wall shit that makes everything else look crazy. Why do you think they left and did their own thing? Because the fucking other order wouldn't have accepted that shit.
Right.
And most of the times these people have proven to be, or in most cases, agents of the crown.
Yeah. It's almost like maybe it's an operation as well.
Yeah.
Because I honestly think my opinion, if the OTO wasn't from inception, I think it is in there's somebody, CIA or the feds are in that motherfucker. That's just my opinion.
Oh, dude, for sure. I mean, they have their claws in everything else. I mean, what's not compromised at this point besides our own souls? Which to some people, hey, they don't even have that anymore. You know,
No, I'll even say like
Right.
this is interesting. Something I could add from having guests on from the order itself, and it's just going by things that they have said on the show itself. I'm not knocking all the people that are in the order or even necessarily the guests, but I had Toby Chappelle on and I had Stephen Flowers from the Temple of Set on separately, and they both described a little bit about their order. And there is, like, in my opinion, I mean, due to Michael Aquino even being involved in the government, it just sounds like a splintered thing of like an operation. Like they're getting people who are probably very smart and know what they're doing with the occult, and they're using them to figure it out for them. These people may not even realize who the fuck they're working for. They could be like, wow, this is great. I'm being able to nerd out on the shit that I'm into in very specific thing. And you're in that specific thing because you're being probably studied or like used. I honestly think people's work is being used, it's being taken and then seeing like, okay, well, we can use it this way now. I actually think that's what's going on with the Temple of Set. I hate to say it.
What is their
psychological, knowing how the mind works, knowing how angles and frequencies and numbers and all that shit.
Yeah.
Because it's very fractured with some of their inner orders. And it just, this is just my take on the way that I heard like Toby Chappelle. I think that guy's great. Not knocking that man at all. Have him on again. Very smart dude. And I think he's very good hearted. But just going by other things that Flowers and other people have told me, I just do wonder if it's kind of like these men are being used to an extent for their brain. And some of them are willingly probably knowing what they're doing too, I'm sure.
Unfortunately, that seems to be the case most of the time, man. These people are compromised. Even Albert Pike said, when the people need a hero, we will provide them with one.
Right. Okay.
So it's like they have this, Tucker Carlson, all these people that people think are like they're, these savior figures. It's like, dude, go look into their past, look into, what they've represented in the past and who they've aligned themselves with. And Tucker Carlson wearing a red Kabbalah bracelet and then having someone on to talk about the Kabbalah to say, well, I know nothing about the Kabbalah.
Yeah.
What are we even doing?
I don't buy that.
Like, dude, what is happening? What kind of theater is this? We need better actors at least, it's just like, dude, I mean, I mentioned this earlier, you talk about his dad being in the CIA and he'll threaten to take you out back. And I'm like, whoa, dude, that's a little extreme, but I mean, whatever. I guess I don't know. I don't know. I feel like a lot of this stuff is just acting. It's scripted, and you could say Masonic theater. Even that's why we always see the symbolism, right? Nick had mentioned the checkerboard floors, and
I wanted to ask about the checkerboard floors,
and all the award shows and ceremonies, and these people are worshiping themselves. People are like, well, they're worshiping this, and like they may be worshiping some kind of deity in private or something, but these award shows, it's satanic because it's the worship of themselves, right? I mean, that's how I see it. They are their own idols, in which they receive a golden, the golden statue for the golden phallus, right? That's what I see when I see them be handed. Maybe it's just because I make too many dick jokes, but it may be because these people venerate Osiris somehow. So I don't know, but if you see something going on and it's national or it's like it's a big event, it's probably a ritual. Like there's some kind of and I don't know, maybe not, but I doubt it.
Yeah.
I mean, just from what we've seen in the past, dude, like, are we to believe what we're being told? or what we're seeing in front of us, because it's easier to trick a man than convince him he's been tricked.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, totally right.
It's the two-part question. The checkerboard floor, what is that a symbol of, in the sense of like what groups use it and what does it kind of represent, or what things can it represent?
I know, like for the OTO, they have that on there. They do have that.
Because the Masons use it, right?
The Masons use it.
Duality.
It represents the pillars, right, Nick?
Yes.
Joachim and Boaz, the sons of Solomon, right? Also representing the duality aspect that's always represented in the Kabbalah.
Kabbalah would exist without duality.
Oh yeah. It existed before that, but they use that as their main, like ethos or like thesis on things. It all has to do with, there has to be a necessary evil to balance out the good, and like all this stuff. Like, it's real dark, some of it, but I think that's when you go into intention. I think I mentioned earlier, intention is very important. It's some of this knowledge is on how you use it, right? Because
absolutely.
You have a lot of black magicians out there, performing high magic, and it's affecting the world negatively. Where are all the white magicians countering this magic, right?
Yeah.
We need our own order of white wizards, white Gandalfs. You know what I mean? And I don't know, man. It's just sorry if y'all hear that. I have a kid banging on the door.
No, it's cool, man.
Okay.
We're family friendly here.
Good deal. Yeah. I have a 12-year-old who just got his phone taken, and 3-year-old who's about to turn 4 on Christmas Eve. So,
oh, nice.
They're pretty amped up, right? Well,
that's awesome.
One of them's amped up, the other one pretty pissed off. That's on his own accord, so you can deal with that.
You got Zachary Hubbard up in this one too. What is
Zach? What's up, dude?
I got a text.
Really, Zach?
Yeah, no, that's him. That's
Zach. That's your YouTube.
Zachary K. Hubbard. Yeah. The guy with Gematria guy. Yeah.
You need to come back on, Zach. We need to have you back on.
I'll text him. I got his. Yeah. He even said the Society of Cincinnati is a big one. He even said, "Yep, look into all the presidents that were in it."
Zach agreed with me that Twin Peaks was one of the best shows ever. So
yeah.
Well, so we had U.S. presidents that were in the Order of Cincinnatus.
Oh yeah, I think as many as possibly as a Freemason.
Oh yeah, and not only that, but Jordan, if you notice, you'll see a lot of rabbis behind Trump. But if you go and look at Trump's administration, you'll see, Pete Hegseth has a Maltese cross tattooed on.
Yes. Yep.
He's a Knight of Malta. All these, they're all, and what's his name? Oh my God. I've been saying that we're going to take back the fucking castle. Mappin. What's his name? John Mappin?
John Mappin?
Yeah, dude literally bought King Arthur's castle. Like they're trying to rebrand. There you go. The orders of the quest, and I'll be damned.
Yo, you know what was interesting? When I had went to I think it was the Cosmic Summit. There's a guy, Bob Greener, maybe. I think that was his name. And he was doing a presentation with Ashton Forbes, and they were both kind of like going separately. And like Ashton was kind of talking about like certain patents that the government had. And then Bob went, and it was totally right up my alley. I think this was one of the things he showed, but then he also started showing Freemason symbolism that actually went back to science. But like, I'm almost positive, like this tattoo that you're showing on his chest was one of the ones that he was showing, that he actually was like showing like how there's like some scientific thing that goes on.
Well,
he was trying to say he thinks a lot of these symbols that the Masons and other orders were using is actually science symbols.
Well, yeah, Nick, you know about the occult. Dude, the Occult Anatomy of Man is one of the books we read on Esoteric Review. we've been talking about, the Phrygian cap and the Eye of Horus, the hippocampus, all this stuff that you find in nature, you can find inside of your body, right?
Mhm.
You have parts of your body that take the shape of these things that you see out, and that's occult science.
I would even say, like, a lot of the people Jules has read on his show that I would even say, people worth listening to that are into what they're into, like, Manly P. Hole or like Albert Pike, regardless of like who they were. I think they actually have something to say. A lot of them always is somehow going back to science, though. There's been so many times on your show when they start getting into like physiology, and I'm like, see, why did that all of a sudden just get forgotten recently?
Because people understood it and they understood themselves more. If you understood how your body worked and like how like it basically was aligned with the element, with the elementals and stuff, right? And how all like, dude, there's so much that we are not taught. Fabrics, that you're not supposed to wear together, and like, we have rubber soles on our shoes and stuff to keep us from grounding, right? It's like all this stuff. I don't know. And when you look back into this ancient art, especially, you'll see it on the shirt right here, dude. Nick did the shirt. This is an eyeball.
Yeah, it's the inside of your eyeball.
It's the inside of your eyeball. Nick, you want to?
All right. The seashell would be the Ora Serrata, which is the white kind of like spiral thing inside of your eye. Underneath the Ora Serrata, you'll have like water, just plain water. And the water, that would be the oculus. Yeah, the oculus humor would be the water underneath. She would be the hyaloid canal, which does bend depending if your pupil gets bigger or smaller. And where the electricity is, that's where the optic nerve is. And that's where sunlight turns into electricity and goes into your brain. And then the colors in the background are the same colors that we have in cones and rods in the back of our eye. Yeah, believe it or not, it's a total depiction of the inside of your eyeball. And it's just, honestly, same thing, just like the birth of Venus. I believe that's what that is showing, the same shit. And I think that guy knew exactly what he was drawing then, painted then. And that's how old.
Wow.
Yeah, man. It's it's the symbolism that you see. You wonder, you're like, huh, like, dude, and you even see it in like the depiction of the Last Supper. If you go look with a microscope or zoom in, behind Christ on the far back wall is the Eye of Horus. Above his head, between him and Mary Magdalene, is the divine feminine, the symbol for divine feminine, the upside down triangle,
right?
Which had to be hidden, right? Because let's be honest, the priestesses were all done away with, right? The priest class, women couldn't convene with God, right? Which we know is bullshit. I think. And so, it's just
agency does next.
This symbolism is crazy.
Been through that.
Somebody said the black sun.
It depends. We alternate between days and the days of the week.
Nice. Yeah. You guys have a calendar.
You know what? Though, like even like stuff with even like churches or even religions. There's even been stuff where like we covered this lady, some Marian apparition or something to do with like Mary, and it's just this painting that now that they looked at, like even this thing has to do with Catholicism, like the rays around it, they somehow realize is actually musical notes. So it's even like got music that's already embedded in the thing. If you start looking inside her eyes, you can actually see that there was like shit done like this fucking scene inside of her eyeballs. Like they're actually looking at this stuff, and there's like almost like science, even in art, that they're finding that it's associated with like, fucking Catholicism, which I think is just deeply occulted to begin with. But I mean, there's just like even stuff they're figuring out now that there's certain cathedrals that when you play the organ, because of the way that the place is built, that sound actually isn't what's really going to be what everybody's hearing. Like they're even realizing why? Even changing, like you can even change the sound of what's going on inside there by the way you built the place.
Because the old cathedrals were built in the form of a body. They were built long ways, and at the very head was the altar, right? And then you had the body of the church, and it was all it's the microcosm, macrocosm, man. It's all in God made man in his own image, right? So all this stuff is made in the image of God that you find in all this stuff, all this symbolism. But what I was saying about the King's Chamber, okay, well, about this Last Supper picture, it is depicting Christ in the King's Chamber. And if you get into Christian mysticism, that was part of, I think, one of the initiations was that of the Egyptian mysteries, something that, he spent time studying when he was a kid and later on, if you ascribe to that. But, sorry.
No, I'm looking at the thing. I'm looking at the comments. I'm like, so someone put "We built this city" in that fucking song.
I had to ban someone earlier.
Yeah, did you on your end?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. He was being a dick.
That wasn't you, man.
So, yeah, no, it wasn't you, dude. He was being a dick and coming in here with bad vibes and fuck off.
All good.
Yeah.
You got the holiday spirit.
Yeah, man.
Before we start wrapping her up, can you guys tell me, like, secret societies, some are secret to an extent, like we talked about, but overall, do they all kind of serve a similar, the big ones, do they all kind of serve a similar purpose in the sense that they want, like, to bring like the end of humanity or the end of Earth, or they want to take over the world, or they want to be able to control aspects of the world? Is it all
that
like,
one? Do they want to be able to basically create their own world, right? They want to be
their own version of their world, right?
Yes. And in doing that, people have to, we have to lose each right we have bit by bit,
right?
But they are all connected in doing this. And that's why I say, politics and all this stuff, people, that are opposed to each other, it's all theater, man. It's all theater. These people are in the same secret societies. They have the same plans. It's just all from this, it's all from a different path, right?
Yeah. So. For sure. Like, how about the Bilderberg group? You guys in?
Well, one thing I want to know, why is George Clooney and Leo DiCaprio attending these meetings with, world leaders and yeah, man, like what's up with that?
Right?
Like, yeah, man. And not only them, but other celebrities and people of that like. It's just like, dude, there's a red flag going off there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Especially because you got Mr. Leo, posing with these little pickled punks and whatnot, he never thought that picture would probably get out. But
which one?
Oh, let me pull it up for you.
Yeah, I was gonna say, let's pull that shit up. Pickled pumps.
I do think secret societies, though. I think their numbers are going down too. Also.
Oh, what's this?
Yeah, you want to see a picture? Have you seen it?
Okay, I remember. Yeah, here, I'm pulling her up now. I remember it now. I think I've seen it. So tell us what the fuck's going on with this pickled punk. What the hell is it? What the hell?
Well, in the theory, Nick, isn't that like Barbara Bush's baby or something?
Oh, God. I've never seen this before.
Yeah, well, this is Leo posing with a fetus in a jar of formaldehyde, probably, or, and he has he's partying. He has a cigar in his hand. What are they doing with these pickled punks?
What's a punk?
That's just the name that they gave him. There's a mythos behind it. There's like an origin story to these pickled punks. I wish, oh man, guys, somebody watching, somebody knows. Come on. No, they're not. Homunculus. Someone said homunculus. Yeah, I mean, not. That has to do with the cow and certain rites you have to do involving that cow or horse or bull. But no, but this apparently some people would keep their dead babies. Yeah. I'm thinking elite families. I mean,
Okay.
in a weird way, it kind of makes sense for them to do that. If they're into these weird occult rites and rituals and stuff, abso-fucking-lutely. So who knows where he is right then. I'm sure he'd give you some explanation. I'm sure there is some explanation. I don't know. All I know is, sometimes I think in Gilbert Grape, he wasn't even acting. Yeah, Jeff. I mean, dude, look.
Hooray.
It's not what's
well, that's fucked up, man. Yeah. So, but yeah, I think I have heard that maybe it's like the who did you say, Barbara Bush or?
That's something crazy right there too, man. What do you think of Rob Reiner stuff?
What do you guys think of the Rob Reiner murders? I mean, they're pretty wild.
Tell you the truth, I really didn't know what happened. I just saw people spazzing out about.
Dude, him and his wife, his son, cut their throats.
Yeah,
then, dude. This
may
have been some kind of ritual murder, dude. I don't. When you see stuff like this happen,
that's why I wanted to ask you guys. Yeah, like,
was this kid programmed to do this? If Rob got out of line, or I talked about this maybe last night. Did Rob know he was going to be a sacrifice? Did these people know that one day they have to be offered up to their deity, and they don't know when that day is? Because then, obviously, in fear and panic, they would try to prevent that, right? Regardless. So I don't know, maybe see my work on Rob Reiner. It's about OJ.
Apparently the night before, I believe, Nick and Rob Reiner were seen arguing, I believe, at Conan O'Brien's Christmas party, or maybe it was like a Hanukkah party. And then, the next night, the son slit their throats allegedly, and then Billy Crystal gets a call, and he shows up not too long after the cops and all that do, and he goes to say his goodbyes, and he sees the bodies. I just learned that today. Just kind of weird. Why would you want to see your friend's throat slit? Like,
did they go to check and make sure that he?
I was gonna say, is that confirmation? What's going on there? Yeah. Who knows, man?
Yeah, and there's that code. They have coded language in which they put out there, right? And they're able to discern what each other are saying, right? That if you know how to read it, you can also kind of tell. But
fair enough. Well, guys, this was I had a lot of fucking fun, guys. We're definitely gonna have to do this again. I always have a good time with you, Nick, and Jules. It was a pleasure to meet you. So we're definitely gonna have to do this again in some shape or form. Before we go, though, will you guys take turns? Jules, can you start off by letting everyone know where they can find you and direct them to the work you'd like them to see?
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me on again, dude. This was fun.
Sure.
Definitely. But guys, you can follow me on X at greypilledpod, Instagram, greypilled_podcast, Rumble, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcast. You can support the show, patreon.com/greypilledpodcast. It's the best way to support it. And we have, like I said, a whole catalog of stuff, shows, episodes on there. And more to come. We got a lot of good, and it's really the only way to get any Grey Pilled merch. But yeah, I was going to say, go check out esoteric book review from this morning. I think what was it? A treatise on the reintegration of beings.
Yo, that was actually really good.
It was good. It was good. It was deep. We only did a couple pages, and then we kind of talked about the Etic mythologies for a little bit, preparing for next week. And so, yeah, like I said, great way to support the show. Yeah, go check out our episode from last night with Cosmic Peach. We did on the Gremlins, on the Occult Rejects as well. And stay tuned for me and Headless Giants show, Rustic Gods. We may do one.
They've been killing that shit
sometime. Yeah. But again, man, thanks for having me on.
Well, thanks for being here, Jules. I had a great time, man. So
awesome.
Appreciate it. Nick, where can everyone find you, buddy?
The Occult Rejects, that's on BitChute, Rumble, YouTube, all major podcasts. Some stuff I got coming out. Well, later today at 4:30, we got Greg Kaminsky from A Cult of Personality. It's a huge old fucking occult podcast. Actually, nervous having that guy on. So we definitely check that out. It should be some of us will be there. And even like, I guess I got some solo stuff that's going to be coming out. I got the effects of like colors and how they affect people emotionally and psychologically. Nice. And then I also have the effects of the herbs on the cranial nerves and how they will also affect you if you're smelling them or burning them.
Really? That sounds great.
Yeah, a lot of the one with the herbs thing, believe it or not, and it was something I wanted to kind of prove. Again, a little bit more science aspect. I do think, unfortunately, it's part of just, I think it happens to all of us at some point. You kind of saw it. I think the effects that you're going to get from those herbs is actually probably what's making you think anything's really happening with what you're doing. It's somewhere along those lines. So I'm just trying to prove that maybe with a little psychodrama and some chemicals, you might actually think you're a witch. Unfortunately,
Yeah.
Yeah. But it is also interesting how you see a lot of them also kind of go towards the same thing, which also will match my idea of that I do think sometimes death is needed for a rebirth in the literal sense to have a magical experience. Some of these things start to slow you down and bring you towards that state. It's interesting. I wonder if that's why they would use them sometimes ritually, because it's already aiding to slow your system down. So, yeah, there's a whole bunch of reasons why I'm doing that one, but it is interesting. I think people find it very interesting, actually, to hear what some of these herbs actually can do to you just from smelling them. So, yeah, check that out. And, yeah, I guess that's really about it. Can't think of anything else. Thank you again for having me on. Oh, you know what? For real, go check out Jules's stuff at Headless Giant.
Nick.
Check out, Jules does a lot for his, I was just saying that to Teresa earlier today. I was like, that motherfucker does a lot for his Patreon users. So go check his show out. And him and Headless have really been doing a lot of great work together, and even Headless on his own. He's doing a lot of things right now. And, go check out those guys' stuff, man.
Cool. Yeah, guys. I was going to say,
go ahead.
Well, I was going to just tell everybody, happy holidays, Merry Christmas, happy winter solstice, happy Yule, whatever you celebrate. And spend time with your families. And, let go of all the negative shit from this year and be ready to, be reborn into the new year, right? Buy a Phrygian cap, fear nothing, and question everything, guys.
Yes.
Stay grateful.
Right on, guys. Well, thanks for being here. Stick around for a quick minute. Thanks to everyone in the chat. Thanks to all the watchers, listeners, all the subscribers. I appreciate you guys so much. Please make sure to go to YouTube and subscribe to the Divulgence Podcast. You can also get us now on Rumble. And if you like audio versions, you can catch us on Spotify or wherever you get your podcast. And make sure to tune in tonight at 7:30. We got Ryan Dawson coming back for the full interview. And
it's gonna be a banger.
Yeah. So that should be a banger. So
I'll try to tune into that, man. Hey, we'll try to get you on Grey Pilled soon, dude. Just try to book.
I'd love that, man.
That's best for you, man. Just if you want to do a weekend, those work best for me, like I said. But I'd love to have you on, kind of pick your brain and see where see where you stand with conspiracies and stuff.
I love that.
So yeah, man.
Sounds good. All right. So yeah, thanks again, everyone, and stay safe out there. Happy holidays, whatever you celebrate it, enjoy it, and stay safe out there, guys. Enjoy.